In today's episode, we build a Cleric trading hall, an Amethyst farm, and we get to work on a whole heap of exterior decoration around the town. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so if you can, it really does help me a lot. But anyways, let's get into the episode. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of my hardcore Minecraft Let's Play series. In this episode, I really want to focus on building and connecting up the builds that I have in my home area. The first step that I want to take to achieve this is to build another structure right here where I'm standing, and that is going to be a Cleric trading hall. If you guys remember, back in episode 4, I found an Amethyst geode that I cleared out with the intention of coming back to turn it into a farm later. Well, that geode resides directly below where I'm standing now. So this farm is actually going to double up as a Cleric trading hall and an entrance to my Amethyst farm. I did spend a little bit of time in between episodes gathering resources for this build, and I think I have pretty much everything that I need ready to go. So now let's mark out the general location of this build, get the size and shape that I want, and we can go from there. Okay, so I think I have the location and general size and shape pretty much down. I want it nestled right into sort of this area, basically in between my trading hall and my villager breeder, just so I can still, see these builds from different angles of the town. And it's raining. So I think that location is pretty good, and I think the size is going to be enough for me to get everything in the build that I want. So next step is to build up the walls to the height that I want, and then I can start thinking about layout of windows and other decorations. So I think this is a pretty good height. I have the same height the whole way around, except for these two sections at the back. I want to keep lower. I have an idea in mind for the way that I want to shape the roofs, and I think having these sections coming out a little bit lower is going to look really nice. So now I want to cut in some windows and think about the layout of the interior as well as what I want to do for decorating the exterior. Hello, Mr. Trader, what do you have for me? Alright, I will take your blue dye. I will take your lily pads. I will take your light blue dye. And I will take your leads. Okay, framework done, and I'm really loving the combination of the new tough blocks with the stripped dark oak. I think that is just a fantastic combo. Okay, so now with a little bit of the decoration on these posts done and the lighting in on the exterior, I'm pretty happy to tick off the size and shape of the build, which means I can get to the roof before continuing on with any further decoration. So let's map out a shape of the roof and we'll go from there. Okay, I think I've got a really lovely shape of the roof. Just went with a standard step roof with a little bit of a tail off at the end. I really think it suits the style of the build that I'm going for though. I made the smaller roofs at the back with a little bit more of a sort of curve to them. And I think this is going to be really good. So I think we're going to roll with that. Let's get to filling them in. Just like that, the roof is done, and I'm so happy with the color scheme that I'm going with. I went the same sort of color scheme that I did with the roof on my house, which is the deep slate brick and the deep slate tile mixture. And I think with the dark oak and tough, that is just looking brilliant. Okay, so now with the roofs done, I can turn my attention to continuing on with the exterior decoration. Alright, and I would say the exterior of this build is complete. I really love the colour scheme of this build. It's probably my favourite colour scheme of all the builds so far in my world. Absolutely love these new tough bricks. I think this build is going to be a really good addition to my town. Okay, so now that the exterior is complete, time to turn our attention to the interior. Alrighty, the interior is coming along really well. I ended up going the grey glazed terracotta on the floor with the grey wool and the smooth basalt in the ceiling. And I think those colours go really well with the tough bricks on the walls. I'm almost ready to get some villagers in, but before I do that, I want to get to work on the water elevator down to the Amethyst farm, just to make sure that I'm happy with the placement before I can move on. So let's get to that. Alright, that's going to work out nicely. Okay, so now that the water elevator is done and I'm happy with the placement, I can get to work on getting some clerics ready to go in the staging area so I can get them into their forever homes in the trading hall. Okay, and there is my 12 clerics in the staging area ready to go. I also did 10 farmers for my golden carrot trades. They will live here in the staging area until I get around to getting a trading hall completed. But I'm ready now to get these guys zombified and cured, so let's get to that. While we wait for those guys to cure up, I'm just getting a rail system done to get them into their trading hall. In this trading hall, I'm using honey blocks to keep them in their positions. Alrighty, so all of my cleric traders are now in place and linked to their job blocks. I did have to remove the blocks that were underneath the brewing stands because for some reason the clerics were not able to link to the brewing stands with them in place. So I've just had to put the brewing stands on the ground and everything is fine now. So now what I want to do is get onto finishing the interior decoration. Okay, so I would say that the interior of this trading hall is now complete. I wanted to use some of the amethyst as decorations, not only because this is clearly an entrance to my amethyst farm, but because it actually connects to the lore that I'm developing in my world that I won't go into right now, but I will in the very near future. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, we can get to work on digging out this tunnel to what will be the Amethyst farm. Alrighty, so I've dug out a 7x7 tunnel that goes from my water elevator and into the side of my farm. So now what I want to do before I get to decorating and kind of sorting out the farm itself, I think I want to get this hallway decorated and we can go from there. So let's see what I can come up with. Okay, and tunnel to the Amethyst farm is complete. So now it's time to get started on the actual farm itself. And the first thing I want to do is replace all of the walls with calcite. Alright, and we now have a plain white calcite room. So now I just want to do a little bit of decoration on the walls and get some lighting sorted so I can remove these torches. Alrighty, so the decoration for the farm is done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it definitely captures the fantasy vibe of the Amethyst that I really wanted to. So this farm is really close to being complete. There's only one more thing to do, and that is to fill this entire area with water. Okay, and just like that, the Amethyst farm is complete. Obviously a really simple farm. The water just allows me to swim around and collect the clusters without having to pillar up with blocks. There's no fancy redstone or anything like that going into it. I just wanted a nice, simple farm that provides an easy way for me to collect the clusters. Okay, so with the Cleric trading hall and the Amethyst farm complete, the next step for me is doing some exterior decorating and linking up all of these builds so I have a more complete section of the town. So let's get to the first step. The first thing I have in mind is to build a nice flower garden at the front of my town hall. I have a design in mind, so let's get to work. Alright, I think this design works really well. I really like the look of it and the placement in front of the town hall here. So the next thing for me now is to get the pathways done, connecting up all of these builds, and that will allow me to get all of the intricate finishing details done. Well, that was an absolute ton of work, but I'm really happy with the finished product. Let's take a look around the town. So the first thing you see as you come out of the house is the pathways that I've got done with these lantern designs with the tough bricks that I really like. So we come this way, we go past a nice little beet garden and a sweetberry bush area on the hill here. We come up to the flower garden in front of the town hall. I've put in a couple of these custom sort of spruce trees. I've got one here beside the town hall and one over there as well. I'm really happy with how those came out actually. So going past the town hall, we have this nice little overgrown fish pond area that I've made. So this fish pond actually has 16 tropical fish inside, 8 different types of tropical fish as well. And I will continue to add to that as time goes on. So we keep moving past the fish pond, and this takes us to our entrance to our spider farm and obviously the pathway over to future builds. So coming down here, we have a nice little animal pen area where I've put a couple of donkeys. So this would serve, I suppose, as the townspeople's way to cart things to and from the harbour, which I will be building in the future. Coming back towards my house, I built this really nice well design that I'm really happy with. Just a nice way for the townspeople to get their water. Moving around the front of the Cleric Trading Hall, I just have this nice bonfire area, somewhere where the villagers would be able to sit and enjoy themselves at the end of the day. And we come up to a little flower store here. So all in all, I think that the town area is looking really nice, and I'm so happy to finally have a finished section of the town. But unfortunately guys, that is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel like you do. It means the absolute world to me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. It's absolutely free and it really does help me out a lot. But until the next episode, bye for now.